I don't have any problem with the people who are remaining stupid and they don't know. How could you have a problem with them? It's the same as Christ. It's like, well, how do you beat on somebody who just doesn't know? And in fact, they were programmed to operate like that machine over there. That's hell. That is a living hell, to be locked in a relationship that you do not want to be in. Now, getting back to that trauma bonding shit, that is a program that I'm pretty sure. I think women are guilty of performing this on men also. It's happening where, okay, the biggest scenario that I can pull out that is very common is that trauma bond. Trauma bond means that you're together because you have no choice. You are bonded because of a need, a basic human need came up, right? It was so bad, you were down, it was getting near death or something. It's you're in trauma. You're not, and see, it's the main thing is like you're not yourself. And so it seems like in general that now I think that men, that's just a standard. It's a basic, well, duh. And it's like, but why is that? Why is it outnumbered that they will not see? It's one thing to be chivalrous and say, oh my God, you can't make it over this puddle. Let me put my jacket down or pick you up and take you, and and know that you have created safety and stability within that person's life. It's another thing to prey on and constantly sit on the fact that everybody's insecure now and unstable. And that's just how you're going to make it there. That's how I made it here, is because not only that, see, now I'm getting down to the mass expanse of the mentality that the government pulls on us, is to create a situation, right, a problem, and then get that reaction, and then provide the solution. Now that's what you see going on in a microcosm with men. See, I've never ever had to like get involved with that. I come from independent women that somehow they kind of steered clear away from. I don't know. It just seems like, now getting back to God, minute 5, and this is a fucking intense fucking video. It's getting back to, because I'm a scientist here and I'm pointing out humanity and I'm pointing out conditions that are found. Okay. People like us will make videos and we want to make you think, because we are able to communicate something that we're not like imagining something here. We might have an imagination that's healthy because we have an experience, and then we think about it and think, well, where is it coming from and how is that happening? And it's not coming from out of the blue. It's actually because maybe we saw something else. We're having experiences here and we're looping back into our mind and we're storing it. There's a question, and it's really not a question. It's a fucking answer that came in, but now you're like just questioning. I need confirmation. See, I wanted to get back to this scenario that we see. It's like, it's an obvious to me. It's like, whoa, watch out. To me, it's like, that's like, don't let that happen. See, the most common trauma bond that might be the woman's idea too. She's like, yeah, no, see, this is it. Yes! Women who are narcissists, by the way, who behave like this, they're considered as psychos hand in hand, because they do have the capacity to pump out 12 children and then be under so-called control of them, and just they can ruin effectively many people's lives, especially that man who approaches her with just his mind. It doesn't have to be. See, he could be just an innocent person searching for God or himself or something. And he's like, he has an ideal in his head. He's like, oh, I can make this work. And she's like, she's a problem. She's got issues. She doesn't know what love is. She was never around it. She's programmed non-human. Narcissist. So these are the ones who are thinking, all I have to do, because I don't know how to get along. I can't find a damn thing worth within or without me. Nobody wants me, and I don't even want me. This is a deep down core feeling that I think some narcissists, this is what it is. The core of them is just shocked. There's nobody there, and they know it. They're like, ugh, I can't run a golf ball through a gutter even if I did, I can't find satisfaction in it because I have this empty fucking hole and I just don't know what that is. I don't see the use in satisfaction. I don't see the meaning in fulfillment. I don't even feel anything except for this line, right? That's the problem with the malignant narcissism. It's like this line of like insecurity, instability, and it's got to hide itself. And it's like, now mask it, dress it up. Hi, play nice. Is that all I have to do is just, oh, and hit that square and hit that square? No, that's your fucking education over there that says, yes, get this right, get this right. You got an A, now sit down, and oh, I could do this. And it's like, the machine, see, can't can't have it just invisible. And as a parasite's idea off in the wind, you have to have volunteers. You need people to work this shit. And welcome to the world. Welcome to what's getting up next door over there and chugging away without a leader. Which is just your good senses to say in your feelings that says, no, I don't really think, I don't like the way this feels. In fact, it's taking away from my possibility of even knowing my possibility. Early! Age 3, hello. Sorry about that, kid. How are you managing yourself now? You ain't got a fucking place to go, and it's like, you're lucky to run in at least one person who fucking actually creates a space enough for something to grow. Authentically, like that. All that it is just said, what I said, they're translated. They know the value of freedom. They know the value of just being free themselves and then letting everything else be free. You know, it's here already. Why are you going to create such a... But there's an energy deficit. So getting back to complexity of that, okay, so just minus the history that's missing, put a beard on it. Say that we killed Jesus over there so that may continue. But those are women. There's also a history. Now, not just any woman, babes. The women who pipe up, that know how to speak, that know that it's their responsibility, profound, to communicate something, right? If it's just to some half-baked that's coming towards them that thinks, that idealizes. Now, this comes in my mind. The false prophet. Do they have a false prophet in their head? See, if it's an idealization of somebody, like, oh, you're going to be just like the way that I have in my head, right? And that's, see, that is, men could be susceptible to that. Now, I'm not ever excluding women away from having this trouble of the mind, and idealization, right? Idols, worshiping idols. Are we? But I suspect that men are more susceptible to that towards women. And then what do women do? The dumb fuck. She's like, oh yeah, okay, I bet you anything I can just... They both rake each other over the fucking coal. And who governed that up? Your fucking system over there that needs to be unplugged. It's a parasite. And they create parasites and fleas about you, really. It's called a narcissist flea. You want to be turned into a narcissist flea. It's when you hear what I'm saying and you know what I'm looking, what 80% now, it's like 92% is out there right now, getting ready and warmed up and to do what, who knows? It's a fucking wash. The world is a wash. That's why Christ Jesus says, don't have anything to do with it. That's not us. You want to come alive. You want to be alive. So getting back to the scenario of so-called relationships forming, but really it's a situationship through trauma bond. We have a society, 80%, even 92%, and it could be women that are functioning like this, but those aren't men and women, by the way. These are naked pygmies waiting for the dawn. If the term men and women was associated with being a human being, yes, they're not human beings yet. They're not humane. We are still waiting for an awakening, and it's getting down to the wire. They're saying that, well, no, human beings can become extinct, and it's like, what are we going to do with me? See, I don't see how I can shut this down and stop trying to beg for assistance. It's a terrible note. See, I'm because my life is in crisis, but everybody is. And we need to figure this out together and do a complete shut out of something. Now, if it's something that in you that needs to be shut out, do it. Get rid of it. Stop. Change it. Don't behave that way anymore. Try to be a good friend to yourself, and then let that reflect on other people. How that, that person, you can't fuck with them because they love themselves. You cannot have a relationship with them. They seem to be uncooperative. They seem to absolutely just be a floating fucking anomaly. It's like, what's that, a next rad machine over there? It can care fucking less about reality and the truth. It's just a fucking machine. Next rad. The weather control fucking machines that they set out on all four corners of every nation. It's floating out in the ocean. It's technology that, and you look it up, NextRad. Look up all the patents that the fucking alien-based military has to control the weather and even your mind with. How do you override that? You should know that you are the very power of reality. If you're a human being and you can hear this, minute 13, a lot packed in here to think about, to consider. I'm not seeing things. My eye is open. Yeah, I see something. Nobody likes me because of it either. Fucking, I call them out, and now they just smear shit all over me and say, "Deal with the pig's pen," right? And I'm being taken for as arrogant and all. It's like, no, I've actually just what it is, like, snobbish and stuff. It's like, no, that's unfortunate too, because really, I mean, you can't help but I live in the mountains. I do keep to myself. I like to be independent. I want to have a good time. I mean, that's not snobbish and arrogant. You guys need to get more vocabulary words and stop fucking thinking that everybody is just like you, running the same game. See, I want out of here. You can't own property like that. You're strongholding for a machine. And I see it now. It's like, oh, the reason why you're struggling, Shauna, see, you're trying to reach out from the vantage point where you are, and you are, hello, you're a property owner. See, what I just said is that you're a living dead person. You're in a club. You have a club. You're in a club. How about that? And you're being used to club down whatever the possibility of human evolution starting here. It's just not going to happen. Thinking that you can own anything here. See, something is trying to help us by saying, by the way, you can't own shit here, but your own behaviors towards each other, the way you treat each other. See, now what we're talking about ownership is like if you think there's a heaven, you go up and you start and you look through like, well, this is the story of my. You can own that. The only thing you can own is how you treated other people suffering and if you loved people. That's all. Christ Jesus, maybe some otherworldly being that says, excuse me, and came here and says, this is the fucking way it is. Especially if you want to graduate. You want to graduate into the. You're going to go to the universe. Itty. I don't know, itty. They have hijacked a lot of shit here. It's the whole. Getting back to the possibility of you becoming human, the evolutionary process is completely hijacked. And there's something I left out. A delicacy is just talking about the most common trauma bond to encapsulate, to become just this encapsulated misery, where one is an ego saying, I win. I'm the boss. And it's like everybody is walking on eggshell and living like two-faced fucking zombies, really, because you can't be yourself around those kinds of people. They have to subdue down, and it's like, yes, I am the what? See, I've seen it, the dynamic happen. Possibly it could be between women and men also, where the man is just like, she makes all the money, and she's tied me to the, if I don't be domesticated, and if I don't wash the dishes and fix the food, I can't live here, right? And I'm not saying don't cooperate, but really, that's not by their choice. That's the way it has to look. It's just a lot of reversal and bullshit happening with roles and stuff, money holding us captives, and thank God for editing. The scenario of, okay, the woman is possible. See, I want to keep it equal because I don't want to seem like I'm biased. I want to, maybe somebody will send me money, but who makes money here? Sorry, it's just like, I might have to, I have to shut this thing down, and I'm very natural in just saying, it's the part of the human organism, Aries, who stays a child, who stays the baby, and says, no! And this feels like crap, and you cannot force me to do something I don't want to do, Because you're not even exuding any kind of reason why we should do it, because you are miserable. Prove to me that any of that shit has fucking worked. That's just a child saying, nah, let me be what I know I can be. Let me be all I can be, which is here now, and stop bugging me with your suggestions, by the way, because you're miserable. You can't convince a child anything of your vibe any different. You can, all you're doing is showing it a possibility. It's like, okay, so getting back to what happened to the women who know better, you know what I mean, who do not for 1 minute make a man believe what's in his mind about her or anything else. Her fucking profound responsibility, if she's left alone and just natural to her body and stuff, and saying, hey, we're having fun, right? Whoa, wait, whoa. Well, there's a society out there that's like, no, we don't have fun. Stop that! Stop it! No! Here, count this. 1 penny, 2 penny, 3 nickel, 4 nickel. Shame on you fucking people. Not even your idea. Do you have any ideas of your own? Or is it just that you run in fear and you say, whatever you do, don't get caught in having to figure out how to evolve as a human being? The scenario of locking each other into that, the biological thing. See, she says, I can't be loved. I'm not worth shit except for when I manipulate to, I can cook this food for them, and if I call them on time, or I don't have to cook the food. I've seen it where it's just like now they're getting back at each other, where it's like, well, dear, where's the food? And the guy is getting all skinny because he doesn't know how to fucking cook the food, and the trash is building up, and then she takes it out and she does everything, but she doesn't cook or so. It's so fucking weird. And then doesn't do the laundry, and they're all, and it's a constant in the home. There isn't a minute where you cannot see them talking bad about each other, and it's just like a constant cut down, and she's like, and he's like, well, me and the guys are gonna go, and it's like, you know what? Spare me, I want sanctuary. And I have done pretty damn good in my life. I've done damn well. Didn't just say that I'm a snob and that I don't know how to get along and I can't work with people. No, I didn't just say that. I actually feel like it's like, I think I'm doing pretty good, but why is it that I will only do it, I see it's like, okay, but really I need to make money. See, that's my story up here, right? And I didn't ever think that really. It was just by word of mouth. Shauna, come here, help us out. I would love to talk for another 25 minutes to tell you how that, yeah, in God we trust. That's a satanic cult, by the way. That's a satanic people. They are geared, programmed to what? Trauma bond. And trauma bond, mind control, right? It's reversed on us, all of you. Don't know how to hold anything up. And it's just, how low can we go? And I'm glad that we're all in a sinking boat and you see somebody on top saying, hey, save me, and I don't care. It's a trap. Don't you see that you're trapped? We cannot drop this shit, the world, fast enough. We can't drop it fast enough, can we? Can you? I'm waking up today feeling the misery of it. It's like, I made it work for me, but it's like, now it's not working and I can't get out from under it. Enough. What's not working, Shauna? What's the problem? I want a decent human interaction. I knew it was going to be like this for me too, because I'm actually a very decent person. I love having fun. I have things to share with people. I can build. I would love to build with people that have a foresight. Just, what are we supposed to do here? You know what I mean? Stay busy doing something that might, if a kid watches and they'll double take and say, you know what? I want to go there. It's really hard to let go of the old life. See, this is the thing, is make sure you're not letting go everything that God has made of you. We're getting into just, well, how do you think it's supposed to work here? And it's like, oh, do I really shut down my fucking thing because I am so stressed out in my personal life? It's a red alarm. It's like, well, and I keep getting on here. It's like, babes, hello. I think that we have access. See, I have access to more ears here than out there. Fuck, man. I have access to a meat grinder out there.